If you've ever wondered why your confidence doesn't feel the same way it used to, I hope this episode hits home for you. Confidence isn't built by performing, it's built by building and rebuilding and becoming that person that you know you should be. If you're an athlete and you're struggling to find your purpose beyond your sport, or if you want to integrate God into your life and discover purpose, if you're lost and need encouragement, then this podcast is for you.
I've been chosen. Watch me put it in motion. Got strong emotions. Manifest what I've spoken.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Painted Lines. I'm your host, Datu, and always remember to shop Anta Philippines. And if you haven't tried Anta's running shoes yet, these are the PG7s. Super comfy, big fan, and I love all the cushion it gives me. So, yeah. All right, today let's dive into something that a lot of athletes struggle about, but like super low key, and that's confidence, specifically losing confidence. And from my own personal experience, I know how detrimental it is to lose that huge piece of you and your abilities. And that starts with confidence because it's more than just like a feeling. When you lose confidence, you lose your performance. You lose a part of you and a piece of you that knows you can do better, but you're not performing the way that you should be. The confidence just doesn't disappear one day. It slowly like erodes. It slowly just disintegrates, and it sneaks up on you and you don't even realize how much of it has gone, has left. I would say for me, from my experience, it slipped away during like the quiet moments when I'm fighting an injury or I'm dealing with my own mental roadblocks or other things like doubt or comparison, or imagine your coach screaming at you. There's always a fear of losing that star power, and you have to combat that, and you can't give in. Otherwise, you'll absolutely lose not just your confidence, but who you are. Confidence, or losing confidence, is like a slow burn, right? And it can start in many ways. It can start with an injury. It can start with a lack of trust with your coaches, your teammates, or something maybe beyond the court, dealing things that you have to deal with in your personal life. And I think there's a lot of thoughts that athletes have that we never talk about. And it's not normalized to talk about because, one, we don't want to talk about them. Maybe it's a sign of weakness or a sign of being soft or scared. But, I'm not saying that it's wrong to feel this way. But sometimes we doubt ourselves. We question ourselves. And we have to know how to answer those tough questions to ourselves. Some questions that I can think of when I'm having like a bad game or bad stretch of games, or like confidence shaking questions that I can think of that I've asked myself, are like, do I still have it? Or like, am I falling behind? Am I ever going to be strong again after my injuries, after surgery? Or am I going to get trust on the court again? But truth is, confidence isn't about your performance. It's about who you've built yourself to be. And you don't lose your confidence just because you had a bad game. You're losing your confidence because your identity is getting shaky. A lot of the time, we tie our confidence to our stats, our minutes, our performance, getting approval. What else did I write down? What other people think of us, right? And the moment you let your injury, your failure, your transition affect that, the more your foundation cracks. Because when you build your confidence on performance, that's not real confidence. That's like, it's just temporary when you do it that way. And the reason it's temporary is because when you do have a bad game, then you do lose your confidence. But if you can build and develop your confidence into this firm foundation under God, of course, God's my firm foundation, if you guys know that song, then your confidence will remain even if you have a bad game, even if you have a bad performance, right? And being confident, it doesn't mean you need to be boastful or proud about or like over cocky. That's not the type of confidence that you need to have, because when you're truly confident, you don't care about any of that noise. You're true to yourself. This true confidence is quiet. It's not built on your ego. It's still and steady. And I know I'm saying the word confidence a lot in this episode, but you got to remember that it's huge because it's built on who you are and not what you do. So when I think about my favorite athlete of all time is Kobe, right? But like the GOATs of any sport, we got Kobe, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, LeBron. I don't want to get into this debate. Wayne Gretzky, like whatever sport, it doesn't matter. Like the greatest athletes in the world, like they don't tie their identity to their performance, because when you go through slumps, your injuries, your criticism, even in the PBA, the media, right? You have to remember who you are, being focused on you and not your game. And that's the part that nobody really teaches you about overcoming any lapses, any times you have to go through that roller coaster, the peaks and valleys of being great to having bad games. All right, so let's talk about how we can rebuild our confidence. So I wrote down 3 ways that we can rebuild, and they are rebuilding your identity, rebuilding your habits, and rebuilding your environment. The reason we start with identity is because, like, until you know who you are without the game, you'll always feel fragile. So like I said earlier, don't tie your identity to your performance, to your stats, to what you do. Tie your identity to who you are and what you believe in. The second thing is rebuilding your habits. So the reason I said habits is because the best way to physically regain that confidence is through reps. For example, when I'm in a shooting slump and I am bricking, I get back in the gym. I put up reps on reps on reps until I am confident enough that every time I shoot the ball, it's going in. Because when I'm in a slump, oftentimes when I know I'm in a slump and I shoot it, sometimes that honest self-doubt in me goes, oh my gosh, I haven't been making anything lately. This better go in. I have no idea if it's going in. Versus when I'm putting in those reps, when I'm getting quality practice time, my whole mindset changes. It changes from, I hope it goes in, to, oh, that's going in. Or right when it leaves my fingertips, I'm like, money. And I just turn around and start running back on defense. And the reason I can be so confident in my shot is because I put those reps in. And you can apply this not just in game, but you can apply this to other things that you work on outside of sports. Let's say you want to be a public speaker. Let's say you want to record podcasts. You get good at these things. You become confident at these things because you put the reps in. So rebuild your habits. Keep promises to yourself. Get those reps in and rebuild your habits. And the last one is rebuilding your environment, right? And not just the people who you surround with, although that's super important, but also who you don't affiliate with. And that includes criticism, news, media. Block out that noise. Focus on you and what you do best. Because when you focus on that and you show up again, the media will say something different. What I got written down here is, I wrote down, you can't rebuild confidence in a space that constantly reminds you of who you used to be. So when you rebuild your identity, your habits, and your environment, when all these 3 things align, confidence doesn't just return to you. It evolves, it develops into a stronger mental character trait that you have. And confidence isn't just this feeling anymore. Confidence becomes a foundation